What's going on? What's going on? I want to talk about the difference between human instincts and human morality. And I don't even know who's watching this right now. Um, but there's definitely a difference between human, how do you say, human instincts and human morality. For instance, at the basis of all things that make us us, we are animals, specifically mammals, and we're part of a primate family. We don't have fur, we don't have claws, we can't eat raw meat, we can't survive outside. Therefore, we used our intelligence and our ingenuity to create tools to be able to build the civilization that we have today. Not only that, the difference between us and animals, or what we would call animals, like monkeys, dogs, cats, snakes, is that we have relationships. Not saying that a dog, wolf, they have a pack, and lions have a pride. What I'm saying is, we started developing roles. Within our roles, we had specific jobs to do. We developed different languages and different civilizations. Some civilizations, um, we learned how to write first. Some civilizations, we learned how to build, mold metal first. Some civilizations were better at math. Some civilizations were better at astronomy. But as people explored the world, we took from one another and we learned from one another. We adapted multiple different religious beliefs around the world, belief systems, and there are thousands of different religious beliefs around the world. Each religion has their own moral belief, and if a person isn't a part of a religion or doesn't believe in God, that person still has their own moral belief of what they believe is right and wrong. And funny thing is, the things that we actually believe are right and wrong are just subjective from oneself. You know what I mean? So let's get back into the difference between instinct and morality. Instinct is when you get mad, someone makes you angry, or someone takes something from you, and you want to respond in a violent manner. That is no different. That is no different from a monkey stealing his fellow monkey's banana, and the monkey, reacting from the chemicals within his brain and his body to make him act that way. So that is instinct. Instinct is if you see a lion, you run. That's instinct. Instinct is if you're starving and you have no food, you have no money, you have no way to get anything, you steal. You steal. Believe it or not, stealing is an instinct. So what I'm trying to get to when it comes to this is human beings, we're at a point in time right now where we're trying to decide if it's things that we want to, like, if what we want to be is more on the instinctual side of being a human being, or more on the morality side of being. Now let's get into morals. Let's get into what morals is. Morals vary depending on where you are in the world, your location, your ethnic group, your race. Morals, for the most part, we know to respect our parents. We know not to kill our parents. We know not to kill people. We know not to steal, shit like that. Each religion, some religions, women, are not supposed to wear pants. So in that religion, it will be immorally correct to wear pants. So get what morals are. And I think sometimes we confuse morals with reality. I know that shit sounds kind of crazy, but the only reason why you don't do another human being wrong is because it's not productive for the species. If you could just kill anyone and not get in trouble, if you can just rape anyone and not get in trouble, you can just do anything negative to anybody and not suffer any consequence because, hey, we're living like apes or we're living like primates, so let's just do it. If we didn't have no rules, and guess what? We would not be as advanced in civilization as we are today if somebody did not make rules. So men can focus on what they had to focus on to build the infrastructure that we are in, and women had to focus on keeping the home right and keeping the man focused. Not saying that I'm not saying that's my belief system. I'm just saying those are the things that got us where we are today. So now, fast forward to 2021, you got people mad because certain people want to be gay. You got people mad because certain people want to be a transgender. You got people mad because of everything. But you know, when you really think about it, like, and I had to do some thinking about this. When you really think about the whole transgender and the whole gay thing, the only part, it's funny, the only thing that makes people upset is that is the false moral ideologies that have been instilled in them since birth. So we all were either brought up a Christian or, you know, something, you know what I mean? Or we, you know, grew up seeing a straight home. I think people that grew up, you know, in a non-straight home probably wouldn't have that problem, but it seems to bother people about things like the transgender movement, the gay movement, the feminist movement. It seems like those things really bother a lot of people. People don't realize what's happening is we're moving from the instinctual part of human civilization to a more moral part of human civilization. We're getting rid of being just instinctual creatures, because as long as we're instinctual creatures, we're no different from a primate. Yeah, we're just primates with cars and technology and skyscrapers and science and math. But if we want to separate ourselves completely from the animal kingdom, we would have to totally live in a new civilization where the new morals that are accepted amongst the masses are something that accepts everybody. But there's one thing: we have to make sure that what we do is still productive to the evolution of civilization. See what I'm saying? Listen, people get mad about. Let me talk about one thing I know people get mad about. One thing people get mad about is religion. People get mad at religion. There's people that don't like Christians, that don't like Muslims, that don't like Hindu people, who don't like Buddhism, who don't like Taoism, who don't like New Age beliefs. Seems like everybody thinks they're right. And people forget that these constructs were created in the human mind. They were literally created in the human mind. It's like, you know, humans are flawed. There's one thing that we can't deny, though, is that the rock we all walk upon every day isn't man-made. There's one thing that we can't argue, is that the electron that spins around the outer orbit of an atom is not man-made, and that's not controlled. And then you ask yourself, like, if you think about the first law, the law of conservation, you know, you can't put more in than what you can't get more out than what you put in. If I put 4 pounds of force into something, I can't get no more than 4 pounds of force out. energy can also never be created or destroyed. Everything that exists has always existed at the beginning. So if that's the case, then intelligence can't be created from non-intelligence. So therefore, if we are intelligent enough to recognize ourselves, and therefore the universe must be intelligent enough to recognize itself. But I also realize that perspective has a lot to do with the way people perceive God. If you only could perceive the dogmatic or that version of God, there's nothing wrong with that either. But everybody has to have their own sense of their belief system, and I think no one should take that from them. If somebody's a Jehovah Witness and they believe that, if somebody's a Jehovah Witness and they believe that, they don't want a blood transfusion, they're gonna die, let them die, bro, because you know what? That's their belief. It's just that, if it's going to be harmful to human civilization as a whole, then we have to put some type of clamp on it. But, it doesn't, yes, people die in the name of religion. But there's more to it. There's just more to it. Yeah, people die in the name of religion, but there's just more to it. When it comes to religion, some people need it. I realize that everyone is not. I realized, I realized growing up, man, that I was, I'm not gonna say more intelligent because, like I said, what is intelligence? You know what I'm saying? That's subjective. What somebody else thinks is intelligent, somebody else won't think is intelligent. So I'm not even gonna ask that question of what intelligence is. But I always, when I was growing up, I always felt like, people didn't really want to think. Kids didn't, everybody wanted, not everybody, but I say about 90%, 80%. I say 90% of the people can't really think for themselves. And, you got rich and powerful people, people have to be, people have to be told what to do, bro. We're a colony, bro. People have to be told what to do. Now, when I say told what to do, I'm not saying they have to be. I mean, they choose to be. People wouldn't know what to do. Some people wouldn't know what to do if they weren't told what to do. And then when you have people that are rich and powerful, I'm not even going to say rich and powerful because it's not even the riches. It's because of the influence of the mind that the riches were gained. When you have people like that who have control, you're going to have some people who are going to do their job and lead the people in the right way, and you're going to have some people who are going to lead the people in the wrong way. But don't get it twisted. People being sheep is natural. It's a natural thing. This is why you always had kingdoms and leaders. You know what I mean? I don't know. One thing I can tell you is this. A lot of people are in denial about a lot of things. And I'm going to touch on a lot of things. One of the things that people are in denial on, there was a denial about this for a long time. They were in denial about ancient Egyptians. Ancient Egyptians. The funny thing about ancient Egyptians is they're ancient. They're not modern. I'm just going to say that again. They're ancient. They're not modern. I'm not saying that there's no ancient DNA in modern Egyptians today. Hell no, I'm not saying that. That'd be stupid as hell. They're in the land of where the pyramids were, or of course, ancient DNA. Before, when those lands were taken over, people don't know their world history. That's the thing about it, which really gets to me. History is boring. Everybody used to always say that during school. History is boring, but nobody really knows how the lands of most of the great civilizations were conquered. It's amazing to me. And yet, well, I think my mic is low. Well, my mic isn't low. But yet, people are still in denial about a lot of things. I am convinced that no race is smarter than the other race. I am convinced that no race is better than the other race. No ethnicity is better than ethnicity. For every genetic code, or for every genetic haplogroup or genome type, I don't know what the hell it's called. I believe there's a select few within that bloodline that holds a certain amount of memory and intelligence from all their ancestors. And everybody doesn't possess that. These people are meant to be the royalty or the heads of whatever. We don't have royalty these days, so you have to go in hiding. You have to go in. I mean, you don't got to go in hiding. You know what I mean? You're not royalty. You think royalty? A lot of ancient royal people, they weren't royal because a lot of ancient royal people, they weren't royal because they just automatically had this automatic plethora of wealth. They were they were fucking royalty because they built kingdoms, they discovered shit, intelligent. And then that's just what it is. I don't even know who the hell is watching this, but I see one person has not left the video. And I guarantee you, I'm not going to be able to see who it is. Yep. But instinct and morality, there is a big difference. There is a big difference. Let me make a better. Let me explain it better for you. Okay. Women, which is a very sensitive subject, you know, but women in 2021, women are definitely, just like every other human being, caught in between instinct and morality, meaning now women can make a lot of money now these days, you know. Women could support families. Some women, you know, especially in the black community, women make more money, and on average. And a woman that makes $1 million a year doesn't even have to worry about money anymore, but she would still want a man who makes more that can take care of her. Why? Instinct. It doesn't matter if she lives in a world now where we created for her to be able to prosper and do whatever the hell she wants and even support a family now. She has the ability to be a leader. But yet, she still says, no, I want a man to lead, even though she has more money than him. So, a woman that's a millionaire spends, her whole life, most of them, trying to find a man with more money than them when it's not really likely. Because only a small percentage, like 1 or 2% of the population have $1 million. They are not willing to trade in their instincts for new moral values to survive in the new world. And the same thing with men. Men be out here trying to use the fact that naturally I can get 2,000 women pregnant in a year, or no, in a month. You can only get pregnant once a year. So that must mean that I'm meant to be live a polygamous life. We're natural polygamists. We can get 1,000 women pregnant at a time. That's instinct, sir. That's instinct. That's instinct. That's not the moral. That's not morally correct in this new world that we live in this modern civilized age, that is not morally correct, sir. It's not morally correct for you to cheat, sir. If you got a good woman at home, it's not morally correct to cheat. If she's not a good woman, just leave first. Same thing with the women. So what I'm saying is that, but that men try to bring, well, I'm just a man. Instincts. Same thing. Like I told a girl that she was saying that guys move on. She said guys take a longer time to move on. Like she said, a woman, could fall in love with a dude in the next few months and shit. And and a guy won't take years to get over a girl and shit. That's why, and I said, but that's instinct. That's instinct. For hundreds of thousands of years, or tens of thousands of years, or whatever, I don't understand the chronological chart of the human ancestral map or lineage, like Homo erectus and Homo epithecus and all of that shit. Like I don't know all of that. Like I don't know all the time, but I do know for at least 100,000 years, human beings have been here, and it was once upon a time for probably 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 years. Women the life of a woman, you could just be sitting in your village and you can just get taken. Women got taken from their lands all the time. So I think, people, your genetics adapt, and their genetics adapt to move on quickly. So, they had to stay, whoever the next person is that took them, they had to get along with that person for their kids to survive. And that's just how, if they didn't kill the boys. But they, for their daughters, they always kill the boys, but they would keep the daughters and keep the women that could bear children. And I think that genetically and subconsciously instilled instinctual characteristics inside of a woman that makes them able to, move on to a guy or love a guy so much one day and then realize, like, man, this nigga not really doing nothing with his life, and then see another guy that's doing something with his life who knows how to speak better, who treats her better. She can move on to that guy that really not. It's a genetic thing. But like I told her, that's instinct. Is it morally correct in the new civilization that we're living in now? I think we have a lot of people who still living off basic human instincts in the new civilization. You get, listen, do I agree? I don't agree with, I agree with anything that doesn't, if it doesn't involve me and it's not hurting anybody, like, I don't really care. But like I said, women, you have your own instinctual and moral things you have to learn to balance, and the same thing with men. And human beings have all the technology that we need to do whatever the hell we want. But the only thing that's stopping us from actually getting there is these instinctual stone walls. This is why I was, like, not too long ago, I was like hurting over somebody. Like I was really like, I was writing songs in the studio, and I was really thinking about how much, I was getting ready to drive to the person's house, and I thought about it. I'm like, man, that's totally instinctual. That's totally animalistic of me. That's why I didn't do it. We shouldn't do anything that doesn't have a purpose, especially if that purpose is not going to be understood by the individual we trying to give a message to. Everything should have a purpose. That's why we love children, because loving children has a purpose. This is why we don't randomly kill people to cause pain to another person, because that has a purpose. Human beings may well be stuck in the same circle like a dog chasing its tail until their demise. I sit here and I walk by every day and I watch and I watch and I watch. And I say to myself, wow. To me, it's just a whole bunch of primates with a bunch of technology, personally. A bunch of primates with technology who are intelligent enough to write and speak and do simple math and addition, subtraction. Maybe if they study hard enough, they can learn calculus and statics. But the average person doesn't know that shit. The average person should know that shit, but they don't. The average person don't know a lot of things. The average person don't know anything about their universe or the reality around them, but they're mad that people are controlling it. They're mad. They don't know about the basis of matter. They don't know anything about electromagnetic energy. They don't know anything about resonance, frequency, geometry. They don't even know anything about their own biology, human brain. But yet they're mad that people are controlling their reality. And the only thing that I can really kind of do is just speak to the computer and on the live and put these videos up every day now, because I don't actually want to talk to anybody. I just would rather just do this, sort of like, even though I already do this to myself, but I think that people should know some things. I'm not talking, I already know how to get, I'm not going to say shit about nothing that's going to get me banned off this shit. People are stupid. How you get on somebody's platform that they own, trying to like talk shit about them. Like, bro, if people don't get the picture already, bro, then there's no point for you to say anything. It's true. This is that shit too. This is that great shit. Oh, it's backwards? Well, that says Egyptian black seed oil. I don't see black seed oil, bro. It's oil. That shit is good. Well, it's nasty. My human taste buds do not like that black seed oil shit. I'm pretty sure no taste buds would like that shit. Anyways, what is a human? That's what you should ask yourself. To me, a human is a vehicle. Probably to you, you're a human, which is cool. But if you're a human, and you believe that if you're a human, which your body is a human. If you're a human and you believe that when you die, when the body dies, then you die. You're not gonna exist anymore. Because if you're nothing but a biological piece of genetic meat walking around, you don't believe that you're actually a soul or an energy source. When you die, you're just not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna reset. Every time your genetic code pops back up, or something, it's weird. You know what's weird? It's that people don't realize that the genetic codes, that shit is this is gonna be printed up again. This genetic code is gonna be printed up again. Numbers repeat. There's only a certain amount of variations in the human genetic genome. A lot of people don't know that. There's only a certain amount of variations. You're going to repeat again. probably another you on the planet right now. Most likely, I don't believe, like a genetic perfect copy of you, but another copy of you that's genetic will be made again, will be born again. And if you haven't figured out what the human body is and what your reality is, you're going to be born in that body again. You're not going to remember shit. You're not going to remember a goddamn thing, bruh. I mean, you might. It depends on how enlightened you were in your last life. But yeah, these are vehicles. These are vehicles. You can make better vehicles. You can make better vehicles. That's the ones we call UFOs. There don't really be nobody in some of them shits. Them UFOs that y'all be seeing, like, there really don't really be anybody in a lot of those vehicles. A lot of those vehicles are literally just being driven by a mind. And just like how you can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch, that thing can too. That thing is actually a living organism. I don't understand its mechanics, but I can understand it's a living organism. Just like you. It's just that, the being that, there are beings that can't, that if they were to come into your body, they wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't be able to operate your shit. They're too complex for your structure. They need machines to be built for them to go, for their energy to be. They need machines for their energy, or essence, or whatever the hell you want to call it, to sit in. And then some of them actually do have beings inside of it. Some of them actually do have living, physical beings inside them. That's what people don't understand, man, is that there's different kinds. Because you got out there up in the sky, there's shit out there, yes. There's shit in the ocean. There's civilizations in the ocean. There is, the main thing is interdimensional travel. That's the main thing. Most of the vehicles you see are from interdimensional travel. Military and interdimensional travel. You can tell when it's military. I don't actually, honestly, to be quite honest with you, I can't tell when it's military because I don't know how far along. I don't know how far along. I don't know how far along they've gotten since in the 1940s. To be quite honest with you, I don't know how far they have gotten, but I can only calculate and imagine that they are probably on the level of the ETs. Not on the level, but it looked like it from our perspective, at least. So some of those UFOs that are, it might be us, possibly. I know I veered off subject because the instinct to moral shit is very simple concept. You just gotta really ask yourself, am I doing something through my animalistic instincts? Or am I doing something that is morally correct in society today? Not saying everything in society today is correct. You still got a long way to go. But you shouldn't be bringing caveman principles to the modern world. In stream.